times, and this is going to be one of those times that we're going to be talking about UFOs and aliens. We'll try to touch on aliens as well too, because they're really, in a sense, two different subjects, but yet they're still under the same umbrella. What we do is we take whatever data we have and we will filter it through apes, aliens, or Adam, meaning that did we come from proto-RNA 3 billion years ago that through natural selection, positive mutation, and environmental pressure became into a monkey-like creature that diverged some few million years ago, that then all died off except for those in Africa, and 200,000 years ago we started to make our way in our last evolutionary kind of boost into the world. And so that's basically how that theory goes. The middle one says, not so fast. There seems to be technology that we have either lost or left behind, and the remnants of it are carved on the ancient stones, the very size of stones such as Peru, Baalbek, Stonehenge, Easter Island, beckon to or begs the question, who did these? And so the theory is that 35,000 years ago, aliens came and visited and basically infused their DNA in our DNA, got us out of the Stone Age, and then revisited us every few thousand years. And 5,000 years ago, they gave us technology because we could then use it. We were there. So this seems to answer some questions out there that evolution either skims over or just kind of says, hey, it happened, get over it. You know, instead of giving any kind of additional, more credible, or I don't want to use the word credible, plausible explanation for certain things that this theory right here seems to answer better. They are actually saying that a higher power intervened at some point towards the latter part of our evolutionary, development. But then there's something on a complete opposite side of the scale when it comes to the origins question that Genesis suggests, not suggested, and it's emphatic that 6,000 to 10,000 years ago, life on Earth was created in 6 literal days, and then Adam and Eve were created, and in a worldwide flood decimated this world, reset humanity after the first 1,600 years of just moral decay, and that the fossils that we see and the sedimentary layers that we see, coal that we see, is all done through rapid deposition and rapid formation, some of which we've experimented with or shared here on this program. So that's basically, and I'm not saying that there isn't any origins theories out there other than these three, but these three seem to speak to, to most of, at least us, in the English-speaking world, and also in other areas throughout the world too. We have a contingent out there, and I'm going to share with you guys, basically, I'd like you to share with us. We're in central New York, just above Syracuse. Where are you from? I'd love to hear from you, because you'll notice that there is a worldwide audience that does come on here. So, all right, my friends, it's your turn. Where are you from? City, state, or country? And we are interested. Then we're going to get into our program. Austin, Texas, welcome. You're from the Alpha and Omega. Okay. We'll get there, okay? Hold on. Long Island, New York. Bisbane, Australia, good day, mate. We do have a contingency in New Zealand and Australia, and I love all you guys, man. Never did make it down there to Perth, Georgia, North Carolina, Rock, Texas, Netherlands. There we go, Perth, there we are. All right, hold on, Japan, konnichiwa. We usually don't get too many from Japan, but that's because of the analog rhythm here. Hello from the UK, welcome, welcome, Carl. Welcome. Atlanta, Holland. All right, Holland. We don't get too many. We get Netherlands, we get Denmark, Sweden, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Columbus and Jackson, Ohio. Oak Harbor, Washington, Philippines, ¿Cómo están kayo kababayan? Toronto, Atlanta, and Croatia. Welcome. See what I'm saying though? They're UK. We do this for you guys over there in Europe. And hold on, we've got Malaysia on the line. Selamat Petang. How did I do? Is it Petang? Petang. I know that, but is it pronounced Petang? Very good. Good morning, Benjamin. Good morning, Kazakhstan. Yes. Welcome, Golden. Trinidad is in the house. All right. And I didn't, Nottingham, yep. Poolsbo, Washington, and okay. Good morning. Fiji, welcome, Jazz. Australia again. We got another person on Australia. And today we're going to have a little bit of fun. Missouri in the house. Welcome. And I must admit, when I was in St. Louis, I thought that the arch went across the Mississippi River. Boy, that Mississippi River is wide. Boy, was I wrong. That was 2005. We spent about a week and a half in St. Louis. Land of Carnival and Soca. Don't know what SOCA is, but it sounds maybe it might be a lot of fun. Shenandoah Valley. Now, there's an area that we have never had anyone, and it's got such a pleasant ring to it, too. Indiana, welcome. British Columbia, Bella Cola. Never heard of it, and I'm glad you came on because now I can rest in peace. I'm just fooling with you, but that is an interesting city. Hello there, back, Pola. Visitors in St. Louis, believe it or not. Yeah, there's something about the photographs that preceding going there, you know. Delaware, welcome. Sup, dude. I'm doing well, thank you. Celeste, Texas. Hello, Potatonator. Pine Bush, New York. We love our aliens. All right. Do you believe we chose our families before we were born as they gift us best life lessons in life? I do not. I do not. We don't choose our families unless they choose us. Northeast Maryland, welcome. All right. So we've got about 50 or so people on here. You guys are welcome to still throw yeah, there you go, Ohio. I'm going to get going here, which means that I may not. Dublin, welcome. All you guys from Europe, Northern Europe especially, in the sense that you guys seem to frequent this more. Denmark, Netherlands, Sweden, Ireland, UK, Kanoa? Sorry, is that Giants dug the Grand Canyon? Not quite, but I hear there's some interesting things there in the Grand Canyon. We've been monitored for a long time. Best case, okay. Kanoha. That sounds Native American. Tennessee, Arkansas, California, you're up early. Trinidad is the island in the cap. That's right. All right. Anunnaki are not returning because they don't exist. But if they did come to Earth and try to pass themselves off as the Anunnaki, guess who's behind it? Welcome, Samuel. No, they didn't dig the Grand Canyon because the Grand Canyon, the amount of material, it was done alluvial. A great amount of water went through the Grand Canyon while it was still soft. And the reason why the deposition of the layers was quick is because there's no erosion. So you see flat, 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 flat. Now, scientists or geologists will tell you that subscribe to the evolutionary or the uniformitarian mindset or old age Earth is that those are millions of years, and that's how long it took to cut the Grand Canyon. But in fact, if those lines, which are perfectly straight, for the most part, with no erosion, it's very telling. It actually supports the idea of very quick deposition. And I'm talking 371 days of quick deposition during the worldwide flood. Then while it's still soft, perhaps a body of water burst as the waters came down and into the oceans and burst and then came and dug that thing out. That's one creationist theory. The evolutionary theory is that it dug the Grand Canyon through a long period of just water in the form of a river cutting it. So anyway, all right, here's our little buddy. Maybe we should name him, but until we do, this is just a representation of what we're going to be talking about today. And what we're going to be talking about today, and forgive me, I'm not going to be able to read the comments, but you're welcome to comment no matter what it is that you have to say. But this is a G-rated, family-friendly environment so that the kids can scoot up to their iPad or their mom's iPhone or dad or whatever and watch the program. And they're welcome to have dad or mom put something down if they want to. So, Howard. All right. We'll put that down as one of the names. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it on the back of my new whiteboard. So we're going to put down alien names, and one we're going to put down as Howard. Now don't all bombard me or we'll be here all day trying to write down names. So Eddie, okay, Eddie. All right, so far we've got two names. Anunnaki, is that what we're going to name it? Mike, his name is Mike. I like Mike. And what's the, what was this other one? Bento? Angeline. Is that what, is that, okay. How come we don't consider aliens females for some reason? Almost androgynous, do you know what I mean? Doing well, Big, doing well. Tim the Wizard, is that what we should call it? Paul, I'm sorry, man, this is great. Tim the Wizard. And then 6, Paul. Sorry if I'm missing Atlantis, we'll call it Atlantis. Luna. Philip. Philly D, Philly A, Nelia, Maddie, Wilson, Tiffany, Wilson. I get it. Maddie, okay. Steve, I love it. There's going to be one, Deathbringer, okay. Cletus, yeah, Billy D, Big Eye Magoo. Okay. You guys came up with some awesome ones that I can't even get on here because it's just too many of them, but you guys you did great. Thank you so much for participating. Ludi, I like it. I like some of these names. They're really good. And you know, it's funny. You guys are so creative collectively. Mr. Magoo to you. All right, I'm going to turn this around and we're going to go ahead and we're going to name all the different ways that this could be a reality, okay? I just got done watching on Amazon this morning and last night a documentary on this subject. Excuse me just one second. And and it's fascinating because this thing is now tightening up that I can't even turn it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick it right in there like that. All right, so there are at least five theories, okay, on what UFOs are. And you're welcome to shout them out, and I'm happy to break them down, but let's talk about them. And the UFOs that we're going to talk about are these type, okay? And not necessarily the dinner plate looking type, which has been iconic since the 1940s, and it still persists today to some degree. But, you know, we're seeing points of light, orbs, and shapes, and things, I guess you could say, objects that are flitting about and going at breakneck speed and are defying all sorts of laws of physics. However, to be fair to all the different possibilities, let's go ahead and write down what these possibly are. I'm going to start with the one that can be naturally explained, and that is, we're just going to say like meteors. I probably spelled that wrong. Weather. Okay. Natural phenomena. You know, someone could see a meteor and it could be weather, some kind of strange cloud. What we're doing is exhausting this. We're going to put it all out there, okay? So, could be a frisbee. Catch me. Intergalactic travelers. Yep. Let's put that one down next, okay? So, we're just going to call them aliens for short, but intergalactic travelers. I'll put down travelers. That they really are from planet Bulb or something, and that they're here, and that they're more advanced than us in the. And again, I'm a young Earth creationist, but I'm going to be using terms that are going to be both evolutionary and creation. So they're basically more advanced. They started their evolutionary process, or it expedited it, and here they are today, running through wormholes or however they're propelling their vehicles and getting here to planet Earth, and they're basically have been observing more so than interacting. Although we do have reports of abduction and interface with beings, we're going to just kind of set that to the side for just a moment. We're going to talk about the crafts themselves and them showing up. So, alien travelers, okay? And somebody had just said technology. Let's write that one down. So, this is our own technology. So, we'll just say human technology that they're not sharing with us, okay? So, it's possible that not all, but there could be a small fraction of the, sorry about the light reflection there. There may be a small faction that is actually our own doing with the testing of technology or stealth capabilities, both, sound, shape, whatever, and Area 51 type stuff that accounts for at least some of it. Okay, so meteors and weather or natural Earth phenomenon could be alien travelers. We got to put that one up there because it's a possibility. Human technology that they're not telling us. And let me write down Area 51, okay, so that we can qualify that. All right, just so that it characterizes it. All right. And then, let's not forget, there is the hoaxes. Aha, hoaxes. That's a very good, strong possibility. Is that ES? I'm going to put apostrophe S. Hoaxes could be anything from somebody taking something like this, throwing it in the air and photographing it, and I'm sure there have been photos that have been altered or have been set up so that it looks like it's an alien spacecraft when in fact it's somebody in their backyard having a lot of fun. That's possible. Also, too, today with the digital technology, it's possible people are able to, because they can track, meaning that you can put a shaky object on there, shake the camera, and get the software to be able to go with it in such a way that it makes it look like it's registering as if it's separate from the camera. It's doing its own thing, the camera doing its own thing, and it's able to register it so that it looks like somebody with a shaky camera is trying to take video of something that's out there. So it's possible that we are, a portion of those are just is that. NASA lies. Now, the documentary that I just watched, Senator Reid is the one that's kind of like spearheading this whole thing. He's the former senator of Nevada, and Harry Reid. And Harry Reid seems to be very forthcoming with a lot more information and reason why this has been held back. I thought that, and we've been told that the reason why the government is holding back on information in respect to, the possibility of this existing and the evidence that we're seeing is in the form of spacecraft or points of light or things darting about, is because we couldn't take it somehow, that we would all freak out collectively. I think that's a bunch of baloney. I think it's been a baloney since the 1970s, 60s, 50s. I don't think there would be mass hysteria. I think that if they finally came forward and said, here's an alien spacecraft, this is for real, I'm not suggesting that that is going to happen. I'm just saying, though, if their reasoning behind it, okay, was that we would all freak out. I don't think that's the case. I think they're not protecting us by not telling us. Here's the reason I caught this morning, I think sounds even more credible. They're not sure what it is. They do not have a handle on it. It has been anathema. And what I mean by that is you don't report these things because there's no real place for anybody reporting these things because it's in the realm of crackpot stuff. That's how it was at least perceived in society, that it's these crackpots that are saying, oh, I saw a UFO. People who've seen UFOs have a lot of people have kept them quiet because of ridicule. And so instead of coming forward, it has been discouraged in the military, number one. And when they've compelled to do it, they just keep it top secret. Why did they do that? Because they didn't know. That's what I got this morning from the documentary. Because they didn't know, they couldn't really intelligently come forward and say, we know what this is and we got it under control. Not only do they not know what it is, well, they've got a couple of clues. I'll go over that in just a second as far as what it's not. But they don't have control over it. And one of the things that bothers humans in general is when we don't have an answer and when we don't have control. Especially within the scientific community, if it can't be explained naturally, they'll figure out a way to explain it naturally. And if they can't explain it naturally, and it's something supernatural, or in this case, the possibility of being outside of this planet, again, it wasn't popular to come forward and to report these things or to breathe it beyond maybe a report, and that was the end of it. Things have changed. Now, some people believe, as it said in this documentary, that the government is getting ready to spill the beans. And what they've been doing for the last couple of years, especially with the Navy footage of the UFOs that they tracked a few years ago that was, finally released last year. There were 3 incidences of that, is that they're trying to prep us. That's one theorist, okay? They're trying to prep us in preparation for a grand disclosure. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's one theory. The other is I think that it's just time, and ironically enough, they have brought on over the last couple of years, not just in the last year, but in the last, I would say, 2-3 years, maybe 4, 5, somewhere in that realm, people are stepping forward of great credibility and replacing, so to speak, the UFOologists in their testimony on their belief, their observation, and what they think it is or isn't. So there's a lot of credible people, astronauts, you've got military generals all over the world, aircraft, Navy pilots of the FA-18, that's the one that tracked it. Now they're encouraged to come forward, and apparently the frequency of these orbs of light or objects of light that are in the air are almost on a daily basis. Now, we're not going to hear about it on a daily basis necessarily, but it is quite prevalent, more so than we're, and also too, there isn't sometimes just one in a shot. There's actually more, but they're not, showing them because they're tracking one, but there's more than one at times. So what are these things? We have shared with you 4 different possibilities of what these points of light or aircraft could be. And they could be all of the above. I'm going to introduce to you exactly the idea that aliens, or these alien ships, let me just say it that way, are actually supernatural. I believe that the few objects that have been identified as a UFO could be weather related or meteors. But we're not talking about that when we're talking about physics-defying points of light or craft that the Navy is tracking with their FA-18. It's not meteor and it's not weather related. Oh, and by the way, let me also put on there Musk. A lot of his, some of his stuff that comes back into the atmosphere, including China, is lighting up the sky, and it makes it look like a UFO. So I want to throw that in there. But when it's moving around and not just hovering, and it's kind of making its entrance back into the atmosphere, that's different than what the Navy is seeing. We're going to keep this one for just a moment because they're saying that it's not of this world. That's the conclusion that the credible people are coming to, not the UFOologists, or as some would say, crackpots, or just people who are uneducated, uninitiated in this field. All right, nothing against them at all. It's just that they're saying that it's not. The people who are studying this on a governmental and scientific level are saying, no, it's none of the countries possess this kind of technology. So we're going to check off this one right here because they're even admitting that Area 51 and all that, as good as they got, whatever it is that they're experimenting with, both Russia, China, United States, and whomever, they do not have that. France agrees, and France seems to be on the cutting edge of this stuff. They are really actively involved in this process, have organizations and projects in exploring this. Because you know what the next step is? You know what the next step is trying to get this technology, and some claim that they already have, to be able to use it to our advantage or to anybody's advantage. So the fear is that Russia or China or the like are going to get ahead of us in this research that we have poo-pooed for so long and have said, you know, this is just for goofballs and aluminum hat wearing, enthusiasts, conspiratists. Not anymore. So, all right. Somebody's saying holograms. Well, maybe, but holograms are still kind of confined to a certain dimension. You know, if you were to say that they were, drones of some sort, you know, that we could throw up there, but not the way the Navy is talking about it. So, human technology, nope. Hoaxes. I'm sure there's a few videos out there that are hoaxes, or even photographs from the 1950s, 60s, 70s that were hoaxes. But again, that's not what the Navy was chasing. They weren't chasing a hoax. The only other out of this world possibility is the world that we cannot peer into, and that's the supernatural world. I'm going to throw it down there. I'm going to explain a little bit what I mean by that, and then I'll let you guys go ahead and have at it, okay? So I'm going to put down super, and what does supernatural mean? It just means it's outside the realm of natural. Now, naturalism is something like when you see the Natural History Museum, they're saying there was no God involved, that there was only evolution and long periods of geological processes and a slow kind of plodding along, and that everything can be explained through the scientific process. That's naturalism. That's natural history. That's what we're talking about here. And we're also talking, even this is on the cusp of being natural to supernatural, only because it's outside of this world and it's more advanced than us, is the theory. But the supernatural realm is not a very scientific approach from the standpoint of what we can feel, touch, and see. there's inferences here that are, and inferences, what I mean by that is that if you were to go to a crime scene and you were to add up all of the data, all of the observations, all of the evidence, you're trying to come to some kind of conclusion. Who done it? How did they do it? Where did they do it? What object did they use if it was, some kind of physical harm? So what do we know? We know that these points of light are very, thank you for the TikTok love, Boo, there. Appreciate it. And that the supernatural realm has, I believe, it is only reasonable to have that enter into the conversation. All we're doing is putting everything on the table. But when you're, let's define supernatural, okay? So supernatural, what we're normally used to supernatural is like ghosts or orbs of light, like down in Mexico, orbs of light that hover over supposed treasures of gold and silver. Supernatural could be our grandparents coming back from the dead and talking to us at our bedside. You hear, things like that. Rappings and furniture moving and that's kind of like ESP perhaps, the supernatural. Usually we think of it in terms of magic, Harry Potter, witches, whatever. Okay. If we go to Genesis, and that's where we have to head to try to understand this right here from that perspective. So that's what I'm going to limit it to. It says in the Bible that even Satan or Lucifer, who, by the way, Lucifer's name was originally Lucifer. Satan's name was originally Lucifer. And Lucifer, today, that connotation is a very negative one, scary, spooky one. But Lucifer in the Hebrew means morning star or day star. He was brilliant. Not only his intellect, but also his whole visage, countenance, his exterior. He was a covering angel, which means that he was one of two angels that covered God the Father, as far as the sentinels that were on each side of him as he sits on the throne. So not only did he have the light from the Father reflecting into him and he could take it, but he also reflects it himself. Now after he fell, he took 1/3 of those heavenly hosts with him, and they ended up here on planet Earth. When Adam and Eve were here, they had to pass one test, and then Satan and his angels would have had no place to go and would have been exterminated, I believe is what would have happened. But that didn't happen. One test, one huge failure, and then Satan said, I'm king of the earth. Sorry, Adam. And how do we know that? Well, in my 5-page report here on Is There Life on Other Worlds, it talks briefly about that. The interview that God has with him, Satan, in Job, when they're all getting together for their communal meeting. He came as a representative of earth. So he is basically the king of this world as long as it lasts, and it's not going to be much longer. Does that mean that Jesus is not king? Well, he's not. When he was on earth, he was prophet. And now he's in heaven, he's priest. And when this whole thing is ready to be administered, that is the final punishment and judgment and whatnot at the very end, which is some people believe soon to come, he is going to come then as king and take back the earth, so to speak. Right now, though, also the scripture says he is the prince of the power of the air. And it says that even Satan can transform himself into an angel of light. Are you starting to get where I'm heading with this? So 1/3 of those angels have the capability of turning themselves into objects, light, and defy physics. If heaven can send an angel at the speed of almost thought from wherever it is to planet Earth within just a few seconds to answer Daniel's prayer, then there's some kind of fourth dimension that we do not understand. I'm putting that in the category of supernatural, and I'm identifying the principles involved in this subterfuge and masquerade as UFO ships, as Satan and the angels when interfacing with humans, the Bible defines them as demons. Demons got a weird connotation, and I hesitate to say that, not because it's not true, it's just that it sounds kind of out there. Fallen angels, Satan as the king of them and the overseer of this earth right at the moment, and the battle wages on between heaven and earth, the two forces. And that force, I believe, apart from the minority of all these except for this one right here, they are masquerading as this and as ships. When they're not any one of these others, hoax, technology that we or another country has, manifested. Thank you guys for the TikTok love. I really appreciate it. That's what it is. Now, this 5-page report explains it. I'm going to give it to you for free. All you got to do is just go here if you'd like and sign up for my newsletter. And when you sign up for my newsletter, you're going to get one thing a week. And I'll be sending it out Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard every week. It just updates you on what's going on. I'll include pictures, videos, things that you may not have heard about or seen. And this is how you get it. Now, what's in this 5-page report? And by the way, this 5-page report is not on the internet anywhere. You can't, nobody has it. This is something it's like homemade bread. It starts off by asking the question, you are here, why? Talks about evolution and creation because it's important. It also says Bible proof of life on other planets. Really? Yep. And let's see, that's the last page. And it talks about the unfallen beings and the controversy that has been taken to this world. And it also talks about what do aliens look like from an evolutionary standpoint and from a creationist standpoint? How do you define what these beings are? So although this is not entirely just UFOs, it does touch on it, and it also puts context to what it is that we're saying here as far as life on other planets. There is life on other planets, folks, but it's not this. And that's what this report talks about. As soon as I get off here in just a few moments, I'm going to go over and I'm going to email every person that has signed up for the newsletter. I'm going to send them this 5-page report, and it's free. It's a PDF, and it can go anywhere in the world. So if you're in the Philippines, I can send it to you. If you're in Alaska, I can send it to you. By the way, my wife loves Alaska. She thought it was even prettier than Costa Rica. Also, too, we're going to be on tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So if this type of thing interests you, great. If it doesn't, but you would like to know something about, you ready for this? Prophecy, how to predict the future, and how the book of Daniel has predicted the last 2,600 years of Earth history accurately. And we're going to give away a free report or a free lesson study called World War Zero, the War in Heaven. That's lesson number 1 that my wife created tomorrow for free. 82 people have already requested it. We haven't made it known for a while because our audiences are getting larger and it's a real chore to get it out there, but I'm going to make an exception tomorrow because I want you guys to get it. But that's tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there you have it. I'll be happy to take a few questions on before we end here. We're going to end in just a couple of minutes. We'll just tunnel. Okay. And those of you that are following us or are just followed us, welcome aboard. Thank you very much. We won't let you down. We'll do our very best to provide. Where do I sign up? Right here, my friend. Just go to museumalerts.com and you can sign up for it there. And also, too, if you go to my YouTube channel, there's a lot of stuff there that I don't have here. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate the TikTok love there. We have longer versions. We have some YouTube shorts. They're TikTok versions. We only got a few of those up there. But I've got some expanded stuff there, and even on this subject as well, too. So if you want to go over to YouTube and look up Lost World Museum, subscribing only gives us more energy to put more content on there. It is a little bit more time intensive to do that there. So I appreciate that. How would society act if aliens are real? I believe if aliens do present themselves, that it's going to be a masquerade as demons that are possessing or or manifesting themselves as these little creatures, which I believe they've done in the past. And I believe that if they do it in the future, on a grand scale, it's going to be all false. If all of a sudden this here, like in that 1951 movie there, can't remember the name of it, lands in the Oval Office, in front of the Oval Office, and creatures 3 to 4 feet, as we have been conditioned to believe they look like, come out and start speaking to us, I believe myself that it's going to be this right here, and not to trust a word they say. That's what my thought is on that matter. And that's the reason why I'm doing this, to put some context, to give a different perspective on it, because this could be just a major distraction, just like Bigfoot or whatever, just to get you off on tangents, flat earth, hollow earth, all of that, and away from Genesis. That's my thought. If it goes beyond this, and there is some grand thing that we're being set up, not by our government, but by the fallen angels that fall into the category of supernatural, then that's what's going to happen. It's going to be all falsity, whatever comes out of their mouth, no matter how good it sounds, no matter how right it may sound, no matter even if they're quoting scripture. These are false prophets, false beings. They are supernaturally created to fool us just before this all comes to an end. That's the thought. And that's the reason why we're doing this. Again, the 5-page report, which I'm going to take off in just a second and fulfill your guys' free orders for this report. Is there life on other worlds? There sure is, but not this. And you need to know the difference. That's how you get it. Take a screenshot of it. I'll hold it up here for 5 seconds, and then we're going to get going. 3, 2, 1. That's exactly right. Don't be fooled. If I'm wrong, no harm done. If I'm correct, then listen up and consider it. That's all I'm asking. All right? That's how you get the report. Go there, and I'll get an email that you signed up, and then I will get you that. I'm going to go there now and do that. So if you're ready to get your 5-page report on is there life on other worlds, go ahead and do that. And if you do it a little later in the morning, I'll get to you this afternoon, okay? All right. You guys take care. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing it on prophecy, how the book of Daniel has predicted 2,600 years of history perfectly, and what to expect. And we're going to give a free report, actually a #1 lesson study out of 52 that my wife is creating, called World War Zero. How it all began, the war in heaven. We're giving that away free tomorrow, not today. So there you have it. You guys take care. I will see you guys soon. Listening, I'm going to send you out the report now. That's how you get it, museumalerts.com. Take a screenshot of it. Go over there and sign up for it. Monday at 10 a.m., we're going to be sending out our next newsletter. You guys will enjoy it because it's just cool content. All right, take care. I'm John Adolphi with the Lost World Museum, where we ask the question, did we come from apes, aliens, or Adam? Your opinion matters. Not a priest, not a scientist, not a professor. Your opinion. Sorry, I don't mean to point. I'll do it like the politicians, okay? All right, you guys take care. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.